dog world up in the Bay Area when it comes to finding a place to live. So when we got this house, I was like, okay, I know this is the right time and the right place that we're supposed to be in because I've been very earnestly praying over it for the last few months. So last weekend, we made our big portion of the move and we started clearing out the house. And over the last few days, I worked on cleaning the room that Pearl stayed in all her life. And I thought it was actually going to be harder leaving that house, but it wasn't because she's still with us. You know, she is still in our new home, and I'm getting these little God winks that she's still here. um, the day we went to sign our lease, we were greeted by an enormous lavender bush in the front yard, beautiful purple flowers all over it. And I was like, oh, it's perfect. Pearl's going to be here already. So I could feel like her presence surrounding us. But as I started to, I'm going to read something to you. As I started to clean up the old house and get it ready for us to move out, I needed to kind of express like what this part of our journey was going to be for us as a family moving forward. Um, so this happened on the 21st that I wrote this. The majority of our move was completed yesterday, quite appropriate for big changes that happen on Resurrection Day. And while we still have a lot to do to make our new home livable, I believe that we're looking forward to making this house a home. Yesterday was full of mixed emotions. The final load, we removed Pearl's urn, and as I held her in my arms, I turned around and said thank you to the house that gave us Pearl. 1 month into living here, we found out we were pregnant. And my entire pregnancy was spent moving, unpacking, and learning the new neighbor and the neighbors. And then COVID hit, which was just fun. When she was born, she had her first photos in this room, and I had a picture of the master bedroom on this post. She slept here all of her life. The house is where she took her first steps, her first food, her first words, and her first hugs. It's also where she took her last of everything. As I pulled Pearl out of the house one last time, I hugged Adam and we both cried. We both needed that hug, staring back at this house. It's not even about missing the house, but the home that was created here, the memories that made us a family. That's what will be missed. I'll carry the memories in my heart and never forget the house that made me a little tougher of a mom who faced one of the toughest challenges of my life. So I wanted to share that with you guys and also know that throughout these last few days, I have gotten little God winks about Pearl. I have had friends who have even messaged me randomly and said, hey, like this happened, or I saw Pearl's name, or I something purple flew past me, like all these little things that just like make me realize that even though we've now moved into this new home, Pearl is still with us and we're still being able, and just like Father Carlos actually said, like every event, every birthday, every Christmas, we're going to be thinking about her and remembering her. But also, I think we're going to see new things that surprise us about her that we didn't see before. So now I'm going to read this brief thing and kind of explain a little bit about the significance of why these are here. Um, um, I'm going to try and cut some of this out because it's not really relevant anymore. But I want to thank you guys all first here for being here. As her mom, the day that we laid Pearl to rest, so to speak, has been on our minds long before her terminal diagnosis. On hospice, on the hopeful side, we had wanted to ring Pearl's bell to celebrate the end of her cancer journey, and in a way, that's what we're doing. While today looks a bit different, we're still celebrating. Pearl has defeated cancer. She has beat it on her own terms, which is exactly like Pearl, always doing things her own way. As her family, despite the outcome we never wanted, we're encouraged. We know that on December 23rd, Pearl left a broken and sick body and immediately found herself in the comforting arms of Jesus. As we await to join her in heaven, our hope is in him. God always had a big plan for Pearl, and daily we discover what that is. While speaking to my mom about this, she revealed some words she received from God about Pearl's life. In our darkest moments, when we cry out to God and wonder if he's listening, he sometimes whispers, wait, he's there, he's with us, and he has a plan, even if it's not our plan. In those quiet moments, I myself, as her mom, as well as everyone close to us, has had the same question: why Pearl? Recently, in her time of quiet, my mom asked the same question, and as we heard earlier today, John 12:24, I tell the truth, unless a kernel of wheat is planted in the soil and dies, it remains alone, but its death will produce many new kernels, a plentiful harvest of new lives. Pearl's death is bringing life to the dead. Those who are being resurrected because of the sweet little girl are numerous, and you will never know the extent of this little seed's death, but you will see it in heaven. She is happy, unbound, free, and vibrant. Her teeth, now straight, are alabaster white. She never stops smiling. She's as innocent as an untarnished child, yet wiser than the wisest saint of God. She sees beyond the suffering that she's endured here. Her journey touched so many people with joy, and as her mom, she showed me what bravery and heroism is. So now I'm going to explain the bells. The ringing of the bells ceremony began in 1996 at the MD Anderson Cancer Center. It signifies the end of a cancer patient's journey. An admiral in the U.S. Navy had undergone radiation for cancer and decided to follow an old Navy tradition of ringing a bell to signify when the job was done. Once his treatment was finished, he brought a brass bell to his last treatment, rang it several times, and left the bell as a donation where it does remain today. Inscribed on the bell is "Ring this bell 3 times well," it's told to clearly say, "My treatment's done, this course is run, and I am on my way." I'm going to ring this bell 3 times well. And then I would love that if anyone has one of the bells that were on this table to ring after I ring the 3 bells. But as we're joining in this agreement with Pearl, because her cancer journey has finished, 2 Timothy says, "I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith." Pearl finished her race, and today we honor that. Thanks. That's really all I wanted to say. So we got to ring a second time for her. If anyone else, if anyone else would like to share, please do.
Is it on? Do you hear me? I wrote it down because this was in my journal. And when I was up in San Jose quite a bit, I was in San Jose. I felt like I lived half my life in San Jose. And I journaled a lot while I was up there. So anyway, this is 10 days. No, 9 days. No, wait, 11 days before Pearl left us. She left us December 23rd. This is December 14th. Is that what's, I'm never good at math. Luke, where are you? Was it 9 days? Okay, it doesn't matter. So today is Saturday, and I've been caring for grandchildren in San Jose. Our family has been journeying through the sad path of hospice with Pearl since November 1st, the day we found out about her 4 new brain tumors. Adam's mother, Suzanne, was flying in tomorrow, and I was to head home this afternoon to take a much-needed break. Let me back up to an earlier moment this week while sitting with Pearl at the end of her bed. It was Wednesday, December 11th, that Pearl had this amazing rally. Her oxygen numbers stayed high. She started breathing from her chest instead of the diaphragm area of the stomach. She was actually taking air in her lungs. She smiled. Her left side moved a few times. There had been no movement since her stroke. Her left foot responded when we tickled the foot, and her arm moved. Hope surged inside of me. I did a lot of praying that day, praying for a miracle, telling the hospice nurse, I think I can still pray for a miracle. She smiled at me, totally nodding her head in agreement. Yes, you can, she told me. At that moment, I felt I had met a sister in Christ who believed in the last-minute miracles like me. The next day, December 12th, her rally completely stopped. She slid back into a declining state, And later that night, she was in a lot of pain. During the early hours of Friday morning, December 13th, Bethany and Adam had a hard time getting the pain under control. Bethany called hospice and they adjusted the medication. Her numbers were up and down all over the place. Her breathing number went from 10 on Wednesday, the rally day, to 7, sometimes 6, 7, or 8, around there. All these changes showed signs of decline. My heart sank. It appeared there would be no miracle. This is where God intersects my time and space. Early Friday morning, my sister called from Fresno. As was our daily custom since COVID, we prayed. I told her everything that happened with Pearl's rally and subsequent decline. She must have sensed my distress because during our prayer time, she felt led to ask us both to be quiet and see if God would speak. We have had this part of our prayer several times over the years, but hadn't done it in quite a while. For several moments, we listened. Then she shared with me what God had shown her, a beautiful picture of Jesus holding Pearl. He looked down at her, and there was light all around her face and light around his face, and he was just beaming at her. He was so delighted in her. She was beaming back. I thought it was an awesome and definitely a word from God. Mine wasn't so encouraging. In fact, it seemed quite hopeless at the time. What did you see? She asked. Well, at first I didn't see anything at all. I wasn't getting any kind of word from God. But then I heard him say, rest in me. And I said, rest in me? What does this mean? We were praying about Pearl, and now he says, rest in me? Then I saw myself in the ocean, barely treading water, as if I couldn't swim. And he said, you need to stop thrashing. He used those exact words. You need to stop thrashing so I can save you, because if you don't, you're going to drown. Keep in mind, thrashing isn't a word I ever use. It would not be a common word for me at all. The fact that this word was given to me in prayer, I knew it was the Lord speaking to me. The word thrash means to be beaten or struck. He made it quite clear I was the one thrashing. I was the one beating against the waves, fighting to stay afloat. Would my faith withstand this? Just 2.5 years earlier, I believed strongly that our family would see a miracle. I never for once believed she wouldn't make it. I really believed she was going to make it. Pearl would survive. And here we are 10 days before she left us, realizing that her death was God's answer. While I was in a death grip, holding on instead of letting go, my own daughter told me days before, Mom, I want you to know I'm not mad at God. And Bethany, that was one of the best things for me to hear from you. Because this is the kind of thing that can destroy your faith. And I raised my children to believe, and she held on to her faith. So when I shared this, Beth said, that sounds like a word from God. She encouraged me to keep praying, that God was speaking something to me that would show me. Later that morning, I sat on my bed in Bethany's guest room. I came to a conclusion. I had been thrashing in a turbulent sea. During Thursday's dismal day, the number kept going down. Her oxygen level was going down to the high 80s. I kept begging God, oh no, let it go up, please. My daughter told me I needed to let go, and my sister said something like, why do you want her number to go up? Don't you want her to go to heaven? And I said, yes, but I don't want her to leave. I had a hard time. I didn't want to let her go. At that moment, it dawned on me that was the thrashing. That was me not resting. That was me conflicted and thrashing. So on Saturday, December 14th, the day I was supposed to drive home for a few days, I came into the room. I sat at the foot of Pearl's bed. Pearl and I were alone. She was in a deep drug-induced sleep. I was going to do a bit of Christmas shopping in Morgan Hill before I left for Fresno. I got up to tell her goodbye. I leaned close to her face and spoke softly, knowing she was in a deep sleep and couldn't hear me. Pearl, I'm going now. I'll be gone a little bit. I'm giving you a kiss goodbye. I gave her a kiss on her forehead. I thought she was asleep. Then I said it. And I'm going to stop thrashing, okay? Thinking she's not hearing me at all. And all of a sudden, The little thumb went up. And I thought, I was so blown away. And God could have not made it more clear. See, I'm in this. A little girl shall lead them. A little child shall lead them is in the Bible. And she put her thumb up to tell you it's okay. Little Pearl did that for me. That was like my special moment with her. I thank God in that moment, reflecting back the few days, believing all that was happening was under his will. I told him I wanted to stop thrashing. I wanted to truly let her go, even if she passed while I was in Fresno. Even if that Saturday was the last day I would see her this side of heaven. Anybody else? Anybody else? Bye, Uncle Luke. Oh, he had to go.
I had to go.
Oh.
Bye, Luke. Karen, you got me. I never got to meet Pearl in person, but as a member of the Daughters of the Holy Cross, our ladies that pray at our church, I wanted to say thank you for so openly sharing with us Pearl's journey. We were privileged to join you in prayer for her. And I feel like a little bit of your walk was our walk. And that was a joy and a sorrow for us too. We love you.
Bethany shared something with me. I think it was like a day before Pearl passed, I think. I was still there, and we went home on Saturday. Yeah. Well, so Bethany just went to Pearl and said, Pearl, do you see Jesus? Right? And she had her thumbs up. She couldn't talk. And she said, Pearl, do you want to go play with Jesus? Another thumbs up. And then she said, do you see angels? Right? And she says, do you want those angels to take you to Jesus? And she wasn't talking, right? And it was just you and her, a moment with you and her. And I just hold on to that. It was just so sweet. So, anyway, and I want to thank my church family for walking with us. And I just know you guys were so faithful to pray. And my neighbors are here. And my good friend Suzanne, she lives a couple doors down from me. She just took care of me when because we were gone like almost 8 weeks, I think, back and forth. We were going back and forth. And Suzanne would go, oh, don't worry, I'll let all of that, don't worry, I'll take it. Because I had someone taking care of all, but she filled in when, yeah, and my neighbors just took care of me. My neighbors were great, and they're here today. And so I just, it's like you're being held up by people, and I just really, really appreciate that. And the ladies in the kitchen that are always there, always serving, always behind the scenes, thank you. And just Father Noah and Aldo and Father Anthony and Father Carlos, that was an incredible sermon, thank you. And so, and Father Carlos and Carol came over, like they came to the hospital, and they came to their house, and I mean, you were in San Francisco and you made the trek all the way down to South San Jose to see them. And I just really appreciate that. We cannot do life alone. We can't do these kind of things without people. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. We felt like people were with us. So thank you.
The God wings are right. God continues to give you God wings. He just does that. It's amazing. So that's about it, unless anybody else. Thank you for coming.
I think she's decided when it happens again, she wants a little more mama. So you got a expedition. Oh, you went big, huh?
Thank you so much once more for joining us here at Emmanuel today. Thank you everyone who's joined by the Facebook and YouTube live streams today. This is on the church's YouTube channel in case you're wanting to see the service again or hear the sermon over again. So it's there in perpetuity. Okay. Thank you so much. Enjoy your fellowship one with another today. Thank you.